It may be different dynamics, it may be different people, different status, but these things happen and we need to talk about it.
We are not alone today. We are with the beautiful, delectable, hot mama.
Yes.
And absolutely brilliant woman. She always makes us, I don't know what the word is I would say. She makes us feel like she makes us go, wow. You hear a lot of oohs and ahs when we're with her.
Would.
Oh,
well,
yes.
She is a multicultural, independent psychological therapist with years of experience working with neurodivergent children, adolescent mental health issues, adults and families who have experienced trauma and other psychological issues. She's a trained metaphysical counselor with over 15 years of experience. She has worked with individuals from various ethnic and economic backgrounds who wish to understand their life's purpose and find themselves. She holds a BSc in psychology from Derby University and an MSc in psychological therapies from Queen Mary's University in London. She has a range of clinical and private practice experience spanning over 13 years.
Yep.
And she has been a school owner for over 22 years, where she's designed a school-based special needs program to support the school community with mental health services.
We like to simply call her the multicultural psychological therapist.
Right.
Only her one person. Mary B. Okon, aka
Mary with the Voice.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, ladies. Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
It's always so good to have you in the studio.
Always a
It's
pleasure.
always so good to be here.
Okay, matters are rising straight to
Matters,
it because
yes,
the matters
yes,
will
let's.
never finish it on this
At
show.
all. Would never do.
So, someone has reached out to us
Mm-hmm.
on a matter that is sensitive, but we thought we're gonna wait until Mary is here because there's only so much we can say,
Right.
and we are not therapists.
We're not therapists.
We can only try, but I mean, when we looked at it, when we spoke to Mary with the Voice, we figured that it was a broader topic than this.
True.
The message reads. And we're going to sort of cut out some things, but the point of the message: my sister disciplines her daughter, but never even scolds her sons. I believe this is a recipe for disaster. We're 2 girls and 2 boys in our family. My parents would always beat us, the girls, and to stop us from going bad, as they would say, but would let our brothers get away with a lot. The older we got, the worse my brothers became. I'm ashamed to say this, but one was caught stealing one time. The other is really nothing to write home about. Now, the question is, how do I get her to see that she's setting her children up for a bad future? If you narrow that down, she's basically saying, my sister is very particular about training her daughters to be good children, well behaved, but then she's letting the boys
Go.
Get away with whatever. They
Did she say her mother?
No, she said her sister disciplines only her daughter, but never even scolds her sons.
Then she talked
And then
about
she talked
her
about
own
her
experience,
family.
her own family.
Growing
Same thing.
up, there were 2 boys,
And
2
2
girls.
Okay.
And the girls were always beating when they did something bad. They tell them, say, you don't go bad. But the boys were allowed to just get away
whatever
with a
they
lot.
Hence,
And
our older sister is doing the same thing now with
the
her own
result
kids.
of her family,
So there's a repeat.
there's,
repeat.
you understand? The result of it in her family is that
Yeah.
her brother, one of them was caught stealing at some point. The other one is nothing to write home about. So she's feeling like, I'm watching my sister repeat the mistakes of my parents.
Right.
When we spoke to Mary, Mary talked about parenting from the inside out. I say, Mary has come again. She has come again. What is parenting from the inside out? And then she talked about healing your own wounds to parent better.
Yeah.
I say, madam, let me hold it to myself. Come and bring it to yourself, by yourself, to the station. Let's just tell you quickly that you can catch us right now on YouTube. We're on YouTube Live. Super FM Global. That's where I'm sorry, it's Super FM Lagos on YouTube. But of course, download our app, Super FM
So you can
Global.
listen in.
Yeah.
And you can call in.
On 0705 69000927. 0705 69000927 is the number to call and send a WhatsApp message. Also, you can call us on 0802 502 7711. Okay,
Mary.
parenting inside out.
Yeah.
Mary, my first question is this. Why does it seem that in Africa,
Yeah.
we tend to let the boy child get away with all sorts and think that And we're sometimes too hard on the girl child. And you should see this is why I used to be streaming live. You should see the look on her face like what? Wait, what? Don't you notice that?
You know, there was a topic once we had on my podcast where a guest said that, and I hope your listeners can go and watch it on YouTube.
Okay, yes.
Where a guest said that African men are raised to be narcissistic.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
African men literally are being raised to be leaders, controlling, and caregivers. They're, providers. The pressures and everything is put on them right from childhood. So they're like raised to be sort of in charge. But you neglect all other aspects that makes you a whole person. Emotional intelligence as a leader. You cannot be a leader, you lack emotional intelligence. But then we see leadership here as physically strong, financial providing, and controlling. That's it.
You know what I hear from you? African men are raised to believe and know that they're in charge, but they're not taught to be in charge.
It's a repeat. Whatever they knew from the prior generation is what they carry over to the next generation. But then we seem to forget that each generation has its own skills and requirements to adapt. We don't adapt in the current generation.
We
carry the prior generational everything onto the next generation without adapting
to the new.
So the generation.
So we keep carrying over, but we never adapt. So if a parent is adapting and has learned, educated themselves in current affairs or parental affairs and childhood affairs and motherhood and all of that, if you have children, you try to parent based on what is currently happening globally. What is acceptable, what are the do's and don'ts, what are the boundaries, what is effective. Use a bit of science to help yourself out. That is you're consciously parenting. But if you now do the carryover, traumas,
Right.
what they did to me was good. I became strong. It defined me. I was a survivor. I had to do this. I had to walk to school. I had to do this. That's why I'm as strong. Sorry, sir. How has that helped you? How many of your children are very close to you, open up to you, and are vulnerable with that your harshness and strong? I had to survive.
And how close were you to your parents because of that?
So because of that, not reflecting or lack of reflection, they don't see how it affected them and how they're transferring that trauma onto the next generation. You walk into school, or you having the pressure of coming first in class. And by the way, all our daddies were first in class.
Of course.
I have not seen a single parent
that came last came third.
They all seem to be first in class. How did you like it when it was happening? Not now, who you are today. As at the time it was happening, if you can really sit and reflect, how did it affect you when it was happening?
But some parents will contest that it made them who they are today. And they'll tell you that all of that discipline that they had to go through when they were growing up is the reason why they were they are. And hence they have to met out that same thing over to you so that you can be
it's not about how I felt that time.
It's not about how I felt.
It made me feel. What made me become
who I am.
Okay. My question then is, do your children like you? If you can't remember, you don't want to remember, no problem. My question to you is, Daddy, Mommy, do your children like you?
In the now?
Because if they made you who you are today and you're very proud of who you are today, you as a parent today,
now,
since we don't want to go back to the past, to learn from the past, no problem. Every country learns from their past to project, to make better, plans. But when it comes to that parental, no. What we did in the past was good. Let's do it again. No challenges, no nothing. No problem. I won't challenge you. But my question for today now is, as we're currently living our lives, you as a parent, you as a mom, you as a dad, if your kids are old enough, daddy, do your kids run to you when you come home if they're little? Mom, do they run to you or to you when they
have a
want
problem?
When they have a problem. If they're older, do they come to you when they have life issues for advice? Or they're in their rooms and you don't even know they're in their house? So that your parenting, that was really, really good. My question is, how do your children relate to you today? That should help you on the scale of 1 to 10. 10 being really good. Let's put 0. 0 is no relationship at all. How good is your parental style and skills? How effective is it? Has it brought you together? Are you, all close and you have a relationship, or everybody's minding their business? Now, if everybody's minding their business because you raised independent kids, they're all good, definitely that cycle will repeat itself again with the next generation because they don't know better.
I like that you mentioned conscious parenting.
And parenting from the inside out. I want to know what that is.
What is conscious parenting? It means I am aware of what was done to me, what I went through, and you say it wasn't nice because it was a survival mode I was raised in. Because you walk into school, I bet some of your mates had cars and they were driven to school.
Right.
It was poverty that put you in that survival mode.
Yeah.
Wow. There's no time we come to this show that Mary doesn't shoot. She will just, you just say, don't see it coming.
Poverty. Because if you go back into the different cultures in other countries, they had public transport going to school.
They had to go on trains.
They had to go on trains.
And,
so we use poverty as a badge.
Yeah.
Say I'm a strong person.
It's a badge.
But no, you were living on survival mode. Your parents were living on survival mode. And you are proud of it. Now that you're doing better, do better. Why are you doing better financially, but you want your kids to be raised in a survival mode?
So they are prepared for anything.
But then, that's not the same situation. Your parents didn't have.
That's
so
why
it
they
was
put you on
survival
that.
mode.
So it wasn't
So
a
now-
choice.
Now that you have, but you still want to raise your kids in survival mode.
You know that some may contest, because this is for all the parents that may be out
And
there.
yes, we're standing in the gap for them.
Some may contest that when you hand down things too easy to kids, there are tendencies that they get to get spoiled. So what would you tell such a parent? How would you tell
Where
them
is
to
the
navigate-
balance?
Where's the balance to
Learn
create?
balance. Learn balance.
Because
What
they'll
does
tell you
balance
that, they'll
mean
tell you
in
that
this
some of the
case?
people that they handed things down to them are not
Listen,
as good
if
as they
I
are
am
now.
Otedola's daughter now, balance means something completely different than being Esther's daughter.
Okay.
Wow, Esther. Shots fired.
Just
We
like
love
that.
you.
Straight bullets.
Minding
We
her
love
business.
you.
Straight bullets. Just like that.
So what Esther's daughter would deem a balance, Otedola's daughter is like, Daddy, no now.
What's this about?
What are you talking about? No, it's not happening. So let your balance be was tailored to your home and
So-
your budget and your capacity.
So let's put it into
Tailored.
perspective.
Yes.
Because when you say find your own balance, the question then is, again, you've used Otedola and sorry, Esther.
Extreme.
Esther.
Like I want to.
Yes,
I wanted you
but
to
okay,
see
so
the
poverty
extreme.
mode. People whose parents taught, they grew up in poverty mode. What then would you imagine as a sense of balance for them? They're doing better.
See, being raised in a survival mode, that's poverty, is survival. There is no luxury, there's nothing like luxury. You are constantly on survival mode. You don't know what is, not even luxury, what is basic. The basic is luxury to you. So being raised on survival mode, making ends meet just to pay school fees, being kicked out of school regularly, walking to school or not even having food in school, or having just one meal a day for the whole day. Go to school, you come back, is in the night, you may see. That is survival mode. We shouldn't be proud of that. It's sad that we had to go through that, but you should not be wearing a badge of honor that you survived it, to now pass it on because it wasn't
children.
fun.
I was going to say, shouldn't I though? Shouldn't I
But
be
because
proud of the fact that I made
you
it
survived.
past it?
I've seen some people say, "Oh, all my kids will most definitely attend government schools because of the way that I had to fight for my life more so."
And it
there were
taught me
197 in class, and I came first. Yes, they would always come.
Yeah.
Or third, and they
would
tell you,
always-
"Oh, my child must go through that same rigor that I did because it made me who I am today."
Yes.
Okay.
I think the word for the day is survival, because I survived. I played survival this morning. I survived.
That's the first
the-
song she played this morning,
That's the first
Survival.
song, survival.
I'm a
Destiny's
survivor.
Child. Yeah. So
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
You're telling a parent who's listening that if you went through poverty, you're probably dealing with trauma.
See, a lot of times people don't know what is trauma. That survival mode was trauma, but they call it survival. It made me strong. But if you sit with a parent or a person quietly, deeply to reflect, they will cry. That was hard. You want to take them down to memory lane. Strip them off of whatever they're going through right now. Just reflect, introspective. Just go and reflect, and let's walk through you as a 9-year-old, being hungry, going to school, not having your parents around to smother you, to give you emotional support. Nothing was there, and you had to go to school, understand things by yourself. You went to school, some kids probably had food you didn't have. You have to maybe ask, beg, you didn't get, and you got home, and that went on for years and years and years. You got scholarship to go to secondary school, all of that. And then you survived
that.
all that. Now you want your kids to suffer, to go through those sad years you had to go through. Mind you, if your parents had,
A choice.
they would not have put you through that. If your parents had money, there's no way they would have put you through that. Let that sink in. So if your parents were financially buoyant just a little bit, there's no way they would have put you
Want
through
their
that.
child to go through.
So
that.
why do you think it's a good thing to pass it on to your kids?
I kind of feel like there are some people who would say, my parents actually were doing good and they still put me through that because they wanted to make me, quote, a better person. If you are that person, please call in. Please share your point of view, because we're standing in for you, but we're only standing so much.
So
The
much,
shots
so
are
much.
very... This one a sniper. 0705 6900927.
Did your rider wants to say something, please?
She don't carry gun.
My brother, the weapon which she carry pass God.
And if you're a parent out there who had gone through something similar and you think that what you're doing is right and you would like to contest
Please.
what Mary with the Voice has said, by all means,
Someone's calling.
contest it. Let's know your standpoints.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, you may need to call us back.
Call us back, please.
0705 6900927.
And as a parent, if you found out, if you've come to terms with your trauma growing up, please share. How did you realize that, look,
it was
that was trauma?
See, let me just explain what...
In a moment. Somebody has called us again. Hello?
Oh,
Okay,
Sorry, call us back again. Go to a
same.
better place. You can
you
also call
the number 0802 502 7711. I'll take that one more time. 0802 502 7711 is yet another number to call us to be a
Yes.
part of the show.
your thoughts before you forget.
trauma, please don't think trauma is someone that was maybe molested or violated. Trauma
beaten
is
to a pulp.
going through a situation or an event that caused you so much pain and changed your perspective about life
Okay.
or your emotional well-being. It
All right.
affected you in a way that it changed something
Turn
about
down
you.
your volume. Turn down your radio, please. Are you there?
We may
Okay,
need
call
to
me
let you
back
go, but need
when
to
you
call
turn
her
down
back.
the volume of your radio. When you get through to us, please turn it down so we don't have that feedback. Then we can hear you seamlessly. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not, people shouldn't think trauma is, something really happened, I fell and had an accident. Trauma is very subtle.
Someone's really trying to reach us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can
Good.
you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can
can.
hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tolani. I'm calling you from Surrey.
Thank you
All
for
right, Stella.
calling, Tolani. Do you have a question for Mary with the Voice?
Yes, I have a question.
Please
Okay,
ask.
go on.
Hey, what of there are some children nowadays that they misbehave because they are not giving them, the way they train us when we were small.
Yes.
That whenever we do something bad, my dad will go and buy plenty pepper and tell us to be grinding that pepper. We'll be checking our ear and be checking the pepper.
No,
Say
that
that again.
Like that kind of punishment they used to give us then.
Okay.
They are not giving most of the children of nowadays, and they are misbehaving.
Okay.
Okay,
For
so
example, now,
okay.
if we misbehave, my dad will go and buy plenty pepper
Oh,
and tell us to use our hands to start grinding it. You know that grinding stone?
yes,
Yeah,
grinding stone, yes.
We now be checking our ear and be checking the pepper. If the pepper is smooth like our ear.
sorry.
You know the ears don't have bones.
Sorry,
it's
my
literally
sis.
muscle.
How did you feel about that? When that used to happen to you, how did you feel?
I feel like the world wants to end that time because I wanted to run out of the house because this thing is too much for me. But I cannot train my child in that way, Sha.
Why can't you train your child in that way? Why not?
It made you a better person,
Yeah,
no?
I see it as a sign of poverty.
Right.
Oh.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much.
She has broken the table. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow.
Even maybe because that's a little too. That's a stretch. Like grinding stone. Now we have blender in the house, please.
It's a stretch, Abi.
No, it's a.
In the modern day, there are still things that we're still talking about picking pin and pushing the.
Hey,
Yes,
what's
yeah.
the space for discipline in all of this?
No, see, that, I told you about that picking pin. It's literally a workout. Didn't I tell you?
That you get your kids to do that.
Yeah, it's a workout. So forget even that one. There are a lot of things now that are workouts. The frog jumps and everything. It's workout.
Yeah, you just.
So it's
yeah.
not even a punishment anymore. My quads and my thighs are going to be,
I'm gonna be doing the
doing
the most.
It's not a work. It's not a punishment anymore. But to talk about what she's saying, every generation has ways and forms of punishment. From generation to generation, we adapt. You have to educate yourself, like I said before. You can't rely on the prior generation's tactics and bring it into your current reality to discipline someone. I can't go back and look at books 40 years ago and use that their tactics and say, okay, I'm going to apply it.
When someone doesn't realize that they have been traumatized as a parent, how then do they see the points that you're making?
I just asked you that question. Do your kids like you?
Why are we not asking, did you like your parents?
Because
Think
about it.
They will tell you that Generation X, those strong ones, they'll tell you, I'm strong, I've survived. That's why I'm making money to raise you.
So that's
I'm
the
paying your
question
school fees.
So that's the question that
They
they need
won't
to
ask
ask first.
They won't even
Did you
listen.
love your parents? Did you like your parents and the way?
And see their relationships with their parents. So watch your parents' relationship with your grandparents.
That's one thing.
So if the parents are not going to tell
Your
you,
parents' relationship with
their
their own parents. So
grandparents.
that's your grandparents.
yes. So observe
Ooh.
your parents' relationship with
Their
your
parents.
grandparents, their parents, if they are alive. You would see.
And even if they're not, like when they talk
When
about
they talk
them,
about them,
You would see how oft their parents, if it's all about discipline and harsh discipline, they don't share any fun, any enjoyment, any beautiful experiences. It's all about harsh poverty experiences. You already know what's up.
funny. I mean, this even reminds me of.
to my question now.
Okay.
That's the answer
Ask
to
it,
the
ask
question
it,
now.
ask it.
So there are some people that they lived such a spoilt life that they don't want their kids to live a spoilt life. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. So in there's the case of I didn't have, so my children
will
must have.
have.
But then there's also the case of I had too much and then I didn't regard it, so my
We
need
not
to
have
not
access.
have so that they appreciate it. So again, is that trauma?
So the ex has now become trauma.
Yes, now.
We're asking.
Does anybody see that? 070569000927. I just saw the person in my
I
head.
even see that some parents would take their kids to maybe small villages or
Yeah.
to stores and say, do you want to be like that person? Someone had actually did some social media experiment. He did it. It was a social experiment. He took his child to one of these markets and all these Alaba, those that carry truck and all of it. I said, can you see all of those people? Do you want to turn out like them? You had better behave. Yes.
Isn't that traumatic?
Isn't that trauma?
Somebody's calling us.
Because he had a lot and his child now has.
Hello?
And may not be going the right path.
Or 0802 502 7711. That is 0802 502 7711. This conversation is for all of us. So please
Let's
feel
have it
free to
together.
call in and let's talk. Come for Mary.
You're saying something.
Yes, there was a video I watched. I don't remember whether it was on YouTube or where I watched it. And the wife of the house was telling the daughter, it was about, I think, school issues or something. She was scolding, it was a friction or something. And the mother was like, do you want to end up like called the nanny's name in the house?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What's your name, sir? Thank you for calling, Mr. Akpan. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ota.
Thank you. Go ahead.
How about yes, sir? Good morning.
Yeah, I'm just listening to your program for the first time.
Oh,
it's great
thank
to have
Great
you
to have
here.
you.
And I'm very, very impressed this morning.
Thank you. Thank you,
Don't
sir.
mention.
The question is, see, I have the both sides. My father balanced the both sides. He has a very fantastic growing up with his father. As in, he has everything in his hand. His father gave him everything. But to me, as we are growing up, he decided to balance the whole side for us because he sees it as he has misused the opportunity given to him by his father then. Like, he has everything he needs, he has it. But, you know, when he was growing up, he had many friends and he doesn't make use of those things properly.
Right.
But to us, he balanced the equation. Like, he doesn't give us much and he doesn't relent on giving us. If you want to do anything, okay,
No, go on. I hear you.
if we want to do anything, he will ask us, what did you have after growing up, after sending us to school? What is your plan? How much did you have? Did you even have anything? Did you even think of your own, having on your own? Like, can't you just reason within yourself? Must I be giving you everything? It's late now, but it made me who I am today. Thank you.
So, before you go,
So do you
sir,
have kids? Do you have kids, sir?
Yes, I have 4 kids.
So how do you hope to do what your father did? Do you want to replicate that or you want to
try something.
try something else? Okay.
Of course, like in the morning, if they are going to school, they will eat. I'll give them money. Sometimes I will just decide. I will not give them anything. They will eat. They will take food to school. Sometimes I will do that. Sometimes I will not give them snacks. Not because I don't have that. I have, but I'll just decide not to give them. And did you believe that right now my children can stay in any part of the world, and they will cope with the way you want to cope, with the way you want them to live.
So you're teaching them contentment.
If you give them food, they will take it from you, and they will not eat that thing until we give order.
So, Mr. Akpan, just one more question because that's a question on my mind. Do you get to sit and talk to them about why you're doing what you're doing?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Very important.
Thank
you so much for sharing, Mr. Akpan. Please don't be a stranger. We're always here. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Wow, that's a good, interesting perspective.
What he said made me remember or think about how there's no manual to parenting.
This thought. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Chioma baby.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Gifted Goddess, MaryWithTheVoice.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
This is Daniel from Mojo.
Daniel.
you, Daniel.
All right, Daniel, great to have you on the
Yeah,
show.
the question I want to ask, like me, growing up, my dad was very strict. My dad can use anything to beat you. Anything.
Oh, wow.
He can turn you upside down. He will lift you up with one hand. Your head will be hitting the floor. You understand?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, that is, like, I don't know, maybe it affected me growing up. But me, I tell myself right now that if I give birth to a child, that made, let me put it like this, that made me do not like my dad much.
Right.
You understand? Like, not that I don't like, my dad is the kind of person that if he's coming back from work, if you see him, if you run to meet him, he will pursue you back. Okay. He will pursue you back.
Risha.
And another day he's coming back, and you see him far away, you understand? And you don't come to meet him. If he come close to you, he will conk you, he will beat you.
Which one?
Which one does he want now?
To do?
So the thing sometimes it's confusing. I don't know maybe
How many children with how many siblings were
How
there?
many kids were you
have?
guys?
Huh?
How many children?
3.
3 plus
Did
you,
he
or
do it to all of them or just him?
All of us. All of us.
How was it with his mother, the wife?
Not too close.
You were not close to your mom. Why, if I may
No,
ask?
me, I was.
no,
me, I was
his
close to my
dad.
mom.
his
Wasn't
dad.
close to
Okay,
him.
the dad wasn't
Not
close.
close to him.
So how was your mom with the whole
with
thing?
you?
Yeah, my mom was very close to us. You understand?
Okay.
She was the one that was take this one. If your papa don't give you this one, you know, it got to a stage where my dad don't give us money. My mom has to tell my dad, they give your first son, even if my 1,000 pay by recharge card or 500. You understand? Even he didn't do it up to 3 times. It's late now. He didn't do it up to 3 times. I don't know, maybe it's the way he grew up, or you understand.
Yeah.
But me, I told myself that the way I would treat my children is different.
So you can see now the
Very
effect that
Please,
now is having on him.
I have one
him.
more question. You've talked about how he was not close to his mom. How about his dad?
No, it wasn't close
So
to
his,
No,
dad,
he-
his dad
his
died early.
Okay.
His dad died early.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was the first son.
He was the first son. Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't so close to your mom. That is, your dad wasn't so close to your mom.
To his wife.
No,
To
she
his
was
wife.
close to my mom.
It was he wasn't close to his own mother.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
you.
Oh wow, someone's trying to call us again. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Chioma.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
Gifted
morning.
Goddess, Mary with the voice are here.
I think you're talking. Good morning, my name is Clement.
Thank you for
Good
calling,
morning.
Mr.
Nice to call you
Clement.
Clement.
I think you are talking about parenting. I just jumped into the program. I didn't have
We're
the
talking
background.
about the traumas of parenting and transferring it to your children. How was your growing up, sir?
Well, I grew up in a polygamous home, but very cordial polygamous home.
Oh, good.
That's
Interesting.
great.
Very cordial because my dad was actually super in charge, being a teacher, and he was inculcating us that discipline, which he as a teacher needed to give to us as a father. Very kind and very loving. He was particular about a lot of us going to school, and I think we did. And he tried his best to the best of his ability. And that's a legacy which I am passing on to my kids today.
Okay.
Education is primary and key for me. Any other thing is secondary. I have a son who is in 300 level architecture,
Okay.
but his passion is music. And I have told him, I don't mind you doing music, but first of all, finish your school. When you have finished your architectural studies and you now want to go and do music, you can go and do music. But I need you to have something that you fall back upon if music then fails.
Right.
Not that music becomes it. So I think that has been the trajectory for me as a father, and for me and my children. And if I have 1,000 naira, I have to spend 950 naira on them first,
Oh, that is
because
sweet.
I know that is the future that I have to live on. And they have become that's how it has been with us. And between me and my wife, I think my children would stand behind me. My wife would just be there standing alone because
I like that.
But
okay,
Mr. Clement, how was growing up for you when it came to your father disciplining you and your other siblings?
for us then we thought it was unfair. But when I also discovered that discipline was just not because it was unfair, it was just because that was the right way to go. For instance, there was a day we all went to go and pluck cashew in those days, and we came back to school, and my father was the teacher on duty in those days. There's a teacher that will be on duty.
Yes.
And he said, all of you that went to pluck cashew, please come out. I said, this is my father.
Ha.
I won't do anything. I sat down my seat confidently. He announced that thing like 2-3 times. I sat down. And lo and behold, in those days, they will flog you like to hell. And they flogged everybody that, that came out.
Oh, scrambled network.
That
if you can...
you were among those who came late. He gave me the beating of my life.
Okay.
And when he finished, you know what he told me?
No.
He said, take your bag and go home. Because I became uncomfortable. There was no way I could continue, studies after all that. He said, just take your bag and go home. And my mom was like flexing muscle when I got back home. Can you beat my son like this? And when he came back home, my mom, will you shut up? I'm getting my food. Everywhere was silent. Me, I was also happy that today there will be war. Both me and we were packed in one corner. But now growing up, now and looking back to this period, I just discovered that was how we needed to be brought up.
In that generation.
And that is what is missing. That's what in that generation. And Chioma and Gifted Goddess, that is what is missing today. I don't want my child to be the way I was brought up. And that's why we have this lacuna in discipline today among children.
Okay.
It is not parenting is the big issue, not how to bring out those children. Parenting is it. And you now have this Gen Z and the AI age children. Just must be on top of them.
Thank you.
We have a crisis in our hand that we must deal with.
Thank you so much.
As parents and as a country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Clement.
Thank you, Mr. Clement. We appreciate you. Please don't be a stranger. Have a lovely day.
I will not be. Thank
you. Okay, guys, we need to take a break. This is a lot. When we come back, we're back on Mary's matter.
Mary with the voice wants to say something about this, our last call. She definitely wants to say something.
We're going to take some more calls. I can see y'all calling. We'll be right back.
Super FM 92.7.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Are you ready to connect with the latest in business and economics? Tune in to The Business Connect, a dynamic program that delivers in-depth analysis of Nigeria's top business headlines and the global trends shaping the world economy. Each week, we bring you the latest updates on everything from financial markets and trade policies to entrepreneurship and cutting-edge innovations. Hear from industry leaders and experts as they break down the topics that matter most in the world of business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional, or simply curious about the evolving world of commerce, The Business Connect connects you to the pulse of business at home and abroad. Stay informed, stay ahead, make smarter decisions. Tune in to The Business Connect every Monday, 10:30 to 11 a.m. Because in business, knowledge is power. The Business Connect, only on Super 92.7 FM. Don't miss it. One family, one radio.
Have you been looking for avenues to reach a global audience? Would you like your business to reach your target audience and people from all walks of life? Call our commercial lines on 0816-4193-677 or walk into our office at 31 Bishop Oluwole Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. Put your business on blast on Super 92.7 FM, your one family, one radio. 92.7.
You are still tuned into 92.7 Super FM, your one family, one radio. We have been talking parenting right here on Family Matters with Mary with the Voice. And she has shaken tables. She has broken some.
And
others
she has
have
fired
legs.
shots. And everybody has collected their bullets.
Back to back to back. We're talking parenting from inside out, healing your own wounds to parent better.
Mary with the Voice. We have dealt with we can clearly see that a lot of us are not accepting the truth that we are carrying trauma.
Yeah.
The first question is, how do I know that I'm carrying trauma? And you've asked that question a lot of times.
Yeah.
How do you, in fact, we agreed.
Yeah.
How did you feel with your parents? Like, how did they make you feel? Besides how they trained you and the things how did that all make you feel in terms of closeness with them as well? And you've also talked about how do you feel around your kids and how do your kids feel around you?
Yeah.
how then do I, whether, some people will subtly acknowledge it, but they don't want to mention it out loud. They've been traumatized. They want to, what's the word? Man up about it.
Yeah.
How do I start to get healing? What's the way to heal so I don't take it out on my kids?
First, let's figure out how you identify trauma, if you have any.
Okay.
You as a person, thinking about your parents. Abby, we're looking at your parents first. If I say your mother's name or tell me something about your mother, how do you feel first of all? Does your memory go straight to negative memories or you have fun memories about your mother? So you yourself can ask yourself that question. You think about your mother, or you think about your brother, you think about your daughter, your son, your boss, any person. Just bring them up to your memory, your consciousness. Lift them up in prayer. No. Lift them up. Bring them up to your consciousness. And you say, okay, Mr. Eddie. When you call Mr. Eddie's name,
that's the first feeling.
What emotions come up? Is it beautiful memories? Is it a fight you had with the person? Is it something uncomfortable? That tells you your spirit is telling you something is off. Your nervous system doesn't forget things. Your body doesn't forget. Your mind can try to erase bad emotions, you can suppress it. It won't come up. You won't remember it again. You push it back. But your body won't.
Right.
You may see someone and physically you don't feel nothing about them, but your body would
react in a certain way
that you can't control. So they say mind over matter. Yeah, it is true.
It's like muscle memory.
Yeah. So how do you feel about someone? And then when the emotions come up, if it's negative, do I want to fix it? Can I still fix it?
That's a good question.
Do I want to fix it?
You say, can I still fix it? Are there some that cannot be fixed?
Some people have passed.
So, I mean, in fixing...
Some people don't want to talk to you anymore. You may have found peace and you want to reconcile. They don't want to talk to you anymore. You can't force people to reconcile.
Now that you say this reconciliation, especially with parents and their children, I'm seeing. I'm seeing at the moment the rookie, and I remember one of the officers, Angela. Her mom, she has 3 brothers, and the way that she neglected her girl child because she thought that you got yourself. I needed to pay more attention to the boys.
It's kind of like what we're saying about the woman
conversation that we're having right now.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
It's neglect, and it will have its own. People are different in their own ways. The way this daughter was neglected, if she had another one, will have a different effect on her than on this one. So there are always individual differences in how something impacts them.
One person and the other.
I may be more resilient than you. Same family, same mom, same dad.
Right.
But I'm more resilient than you. So the way they parented both of us will affect you. Be so introvert. You will have emotional outbreaks. I am like, they didn't do anything now. We're good.
So we can have the same situation and have the same different reactions and feelings about that.
Every child experience their parent differently.
So should parents different children in the same home differently?
Yes, based on their needs and structure. Because every child, the first child experiences their parents different. The second child has a different experience, same parents, but makes different experience. The third one, different. So we all grew up in the same household, but your memories are different than mine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm about to come for you. Listen, I think I'm a little troubled. You see, you said something. Parenting doesn't have a handbook.
No, it doesn't.
So I'm there trying to figure out how to parent the children. You're not telling me to now do it individually. You want to kill me? The phone lines are buzzing. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Ola Brown from...
Very difficult to hear what you're saying. Do you want to maybe...
Okay.
I said I grew up with my aunt.
Okay.
It was really tough growing up with my aunt. From as age of 5, my aunt's husband was a lecturer. Money was not the problem, but what I went through was dead. Or what my aunt would just say is, all this time that I'm going through it for the future. It's training.
So training for the
training
future.
process.
So she knew that it wasn't right.
But it was tough. Going to farm, anything we ask for, we get. But before we get that, we have to work for it. My aunt was going to say, him growing up, he was getting sick, he was doing that to stand up for himself. Now he's a lecturer. So we have to show, we have to go through all he went through to stand up to. So we went through a lot.
Okay. Do you have a question for our guest before we go? Thank you for sharing, by the way.
All right. Thank you so much, Ola.
So
I mean,
you
he's
see
recounting his own experience with not even his parents,
He was with her auntie.
And it's that notion that hardness, that hard situation made me a better person. One last call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, ma.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Please, Solani calling you back.
Okay. Quick one. Let's go.
I want to share one of my bad experience because the way everybody was just saying it, like I was so touched. I don't even know whether I should cry or just console myself because I went through loss the end of my mom and my dad. Because you know when mother and father, when they are fighting, they affect the children. So that love, I've never seen love from mother or love from father before because the way they changed us affected my life. But I still thank God. Thank
you for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Because, for example, now, me paying my school fees myself, my handouts, even when my classmates are calling their mom, my mom just send me 5,000 naira for my handouts, or my mom just send me 2,000. I would feel so bad. God, why is my home like this?
But did your parents have?
The thing is, they don't have. But I think they have both, I think they are both together, like they understand each other. There's even if the parent did not have, there is a way that they will sorted everything out. My dad used to carry different women. My dad would pay for another people's children school fees, all those.
And they will not pay your own.
Yeah, wow. Even up to now, I have to enter school late. I just finished my ND last weekend Wednesday. I just signed up.
We're so proud of you.
See, you did this on your own, and you should be proud.
Yes, I have to sell my thing, my peanut business. You know, Tejoso Market now.
Yes, I do.
Tejoso Market to Okon.
Wow.
It's not easy, but I thank God.
We're so proud of you.
We're so proud of you.
Like,
well done.
Seriously, well done. Oh my goodness.
Well, someone has been listening and sent me a message. It says, as Mary with the voice, have you ever in any way gone through survival mode? And how was it for you growing up? Yes or no? Maybe this is also to encourage or impact someone out there.
Listen, I could sit here for a whole month and I plan on writing a book about survival mode.
Oh.
I was born in Ghana.
Some people don't understand what that
means. In the 70s. I grew up without my mother and my father in my grandparents' house. I have a whole story to tell about survival mode. So yes, if I told you I hawked bread in the 70s and early 80s, I hawked selling on the streets bread, you won't believe it. As a young 8-year-old girl, 9 years, I did that. I've been sent out of school for not paying school fees before. I don't know what is survival mode. Is it because they didn't pounce on me?
You see this thing that she's sharing? If we start to share these things, we will not live here today.
Do you know what I mean?
When we have these conversations, it's not just because, we live in a bubble, this high rise up there somewhere. Some of us didn't. Some of us had to sit and do family meeting. Okay, we cannot pay for everybody's school fees. One person has to wait. And you choose to wait.
Some of us had to dance on a train.
Some of us danced
to get money, 5,000 naira. Yes.
Gift you.
Yes, some of us
on a truck at trade fair, selling market for our uncles, stood outside to dance.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So our stories are real.
Yes, we all have stories.
Yes. So now to the trauma in 1 minute. If someone is listening right now as a parent, parent, saying, where do I go from here so that I don't give out this same suffering to my children? What do you
so
think?
let me quickly, I hope this would resonate
Yes.
someone. So what I initially was going to say was, sometimes the way we were raised feels normal, even when it hurts. And if we don't pause to reflect as parents, as individuals, just reflect, we end up parenting not from wisdom, but from our wounds.
Okay, parenting from your wounds. Ask yourself, am I parenting from
my wounds? Or am I
Because
parenting-
you are repeating what was done to you, even though it hurt you, but you're repeating it just because you have survived and you now think it's a good thing.
People, on that note, we have to wrap up because time is not our friend. But Mary with a Voice is always wholesome. The word, I took it from her. Wholesome, having you around. Yes. We gotta go because, the next show is lined up and ready for us. But Mary with a Voice, tell us you come next week.
Yes, I'll be here next week.
She's here next week. So we're going to talk about the boy child and girl child and much more. Thank you so much.
Thank you
we
for
hope that
having
this has
me.
impacted in your life as well. Don't go anywhere. This is Super 92.7 FM. Coming up is Real Estate Matters. We'll be back.
You know I want you. It's not a secret.